He-Man, there's no need to feel down, I said, He-Man. She-Ra was a big hit, but He-Man, you might get a reboot someday too. It came to me yesterday while listening to the She-Ra episode that just dropped of us.
Yeah.
So.
I'm this far from the mic.
And I'm this far with the mic.
And together we are These Fars from the mic. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Arch Plays. One of the... Well, it's been, like 6 months since we recorded last?
Over 6... It's been a year, basically.
The last time we recorded was still in this house, but...
Oh, that's true. Okay, then 6 months then, yeah.
All right. I don't remember what part of the story we were on, so I'm just going to go right here. I think we played through the middle. So...
It's been long enough that I don't know.
Whatever. Nobody's watching this for the story because I'm explicitly skipping the story, hoping everything will just work out.
That'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about things. Wait, that reminds me, did you even, get a topic?
Oh, I have a topic, which is cultural overlap with people.
Okay.
So, I have a feeling that the kinds of things that I like, being so, insular, makes it really difficult for me to make certain kinds of connections. Okay? So, if, for example, you don't like anime, the chances of us becoming friends are very small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or and in a lot of cases this forms a limit on an upper limit on the total closeness that I can have to a person.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you're repulsed by anime, then that's we're never going to be close.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes me think of musicals as bad guy, okay, there is a ceiling to how much of a friend I can be to you. Mm-hmm. Or, well, that you can be to me, really. I'm sure, he'd feel much closer to me than I would to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel that way, too, especially, how, even in, I like anime, there's certain tiers of I like anime.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that all the time, whenever I say, yeah, I like anime, and people are always like, yeah, I love My Hero Academia. And it's oh. So
you like the normie shit.
Yeah, and it's nothing against My Hero Academia, but still just you're not one of those people who go down the seasonal charts and try to follow what looks good.
Yeah. An example of somebody who you wonder about them, the level of into stuff they are, is have they seen a seasonal chart ever?
Yeah.
Do you have a Mal account? That's myanimelist.net, by the way. Man, I really wish that there was a My Anime List for other things. I know...
Oh, that'd be great. I would love a My Anime List for musicals, especially, the different casts of musicals. And, unfortunately, you kind of can't have that because it's much rarer to have, official recordings.
And not just that, but, all the other things that I know of that have even come close to trying have all been fucking garbage.
Really?
There's, in theory, there's a Mal equivalent for movies, but it's not as exhaustive as Mal as far as categorization and the amount of information that it has about you and your experience of media.
Yeah.
So they will tell you'll be able to list if you've seen something, but I want to see a plan to watch. I want to see ratings lists. I want to see look at any Mal page for an anime. Pick any anime you know, and look it up and see just the volume of information.
Here, let's pause for a moment so then I can put Scooter up. And we're back.
Hey.
Yeah, I would love to have something like that for musicals, and maybe even movies, because I have so much on my watch list, but I can't really keep track of it. And like it's also nice to have a good like measure, like signifier of all the things that I have consumed and like what informs my media taste, and then also having a way to record what I thought about it at the time.
I think there's one for books. I think Goodreads is that, but
Seems
again,
like it.
I have no idea about the amount of information that it includes, and
Yeah.
it's probably not much.
I know Alyssa Hansen uses Goodreads a lot. Like I see her tweeting out her thoughts on books as she's reading them, or like more like her rating and how far she's into it.
Gotcha.
But we were talking about cultural.
Yeah, we were talking about cultural overlap.
Yeah.
One of the primo examples of that is Pony. If you like don't know anything about Pony, or more importantly, if you want to not know anything about Pony, that forms the ceiling on how close we can be. Just because what you're doing there is you are locked off from not just one of the most important things to me, but a channel through which new things become important to me.
Yeah.
So if you're closed to that, then no matter where we start or how hard you try, we will grow consistently more distant with time.
Yeah, kind of, and also like just, like something with My Little Pony. It says something about you that is fundamentally untrue with you. It's like it shows a divide in thinking.
Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that everybody has to like all the things that I like.
Well, no, of course not.
But there's definitely a scale across these things. Like,
Yeah.
Imagine somebody for whom you can't show any musical or any movie.
Yeah.
How permanently isolating that would be.
Well, yeah, and especially because of how media informs who we are and a lot of our experiences as people, it is honestly cutting a part of yourself off from that person.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that is extremely isolating and kind of depressing when you think about it.
The easiest way I can think of to communicate, like, all of what I'm trying to get at with it is, like, it's not just that you have an easy connection with people who like a particular thing, but the fact that it's one of the most important things to you makes it likely that anybody who can't connect to that or doesn't want to, or something like that, is not compatible with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you know, those like it's kind of like those litmus tests of like, you know, rating how compatible are you with this person, and if you don't share certain key things that like both of you like are important to both of you, then yeah. I'm just re-saying what you're saying.
Yeah. And it can be any number, like it can be any granularity. The only thing that matters is how important it is to you. Like, I've known people for whom it's been my favorite creators. Like, I'm very, very heavily into Digibro content. So if you despise Digibro and you never ever want to hear anything about him, well then we kind of can't be friends.
That extremely limits like what you can share.
Because he's a creator that is very plugged into, or like who has a lot of the special overlap where the kinds of things that this person makes are the kinds of things that speak to me. And if I can't speak to you about those things, then eventually our paths will fork apart.
Yeah. And actually thinking about it, like, not really, like, how do I phrase this? Like, lack of compatibility with other people besides someone like you and Mask, like, is part of why I've got a YouTube channel. to voice like the things I think about that I don't feel like I can really share otherwise. Like, I was thinking of making a YouTube channel quite a while ago. I think even just a bit before I met you and Mask. Like, because I saw the Phantom Reviewer doing the thing that I think in my head all the time, talking about stuff that I'm passionate about, like musicals and movies and such. And I thought, I would love to do something like this. Because, like, for most of my life, I would always imagine, like, my responses to, like, interview questions and such. And I like being able to talk about these sort of things, but I don't really have the people to discuss it with, so that's why I make a video, and now it's just out there, and I've had a record of, like, having discussed it.
Yeah. That brings up the... Like, that's a smooth transition, which I'm now ruining by pointing it out, to the next point that I was going to make, which is that problem is just a more relatable version of I can't be that close to people who don't watch my videos or who don't follow stuff that we make, because like this is where a lot of my good material goes, is in the arch plays. And if somebody just flat out doesn't care about that or otherwise can't connect to it, then what is happening here? That is a limit on, it's a very obvious demonstration of the limit of how much you care about me.
Yeah, and I've unfortunately felt that with the few family members that I have, like, told, yeah, I make YouTube videos. Like, they know, and they know I'm still working at it, but it's also like, you also don't care to really watch them.
Yeah, like, the family that I like, they don't watch my content. And any time that they have ever tried to watch my content, it's always been, I'm watching this because it will help your channel to get to get views, not because they care about it.
Yeah, not because they would choose to do it on their own.
Granted, I think most of the things that we make in, like, the arch plays is not the kind of stuff that I really want my family watching.
Really?
Like, not necessarily that I wouldn't want them to, but, like, it's difficult to be it's awkward being this open with family members. Just
That's
like
true.
just
That's
like how
true.
I'm like, I'm not going to talk about, let's say, if I was dating, I wouldn't talk about conquests with people, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. And, like, that's true for, not all, but some of my videos. Like, my most recent one about Given, that's something that I don't really want to bring up on my own family. Just like, no thank you.
Yeah.
Especially because I comment on my family. But it's also, like, there's a level of, well, these are conversations that it'd be nice to have, especially with someone that you're close to.
And what that indicates to me is that those people are just people that I don't want to be that connected to.
Those people?
Those people. Because, like, if I did want to be significantly closer to you, then the thing that goes with that is video content.
Yeah, especially because with us, at least, we put a lot of ourselves into our video content. Like, you're starting to do that. Like, I mean, you do that a bit with your woodworking stuff, but you're starting to, like,
yeah, I'm
as you're
making
branching
more,
out.
There's more Tarbuck editorials.
Yeah.
I think I've got, like, 4 of them left before I need to, like, sit down and think about some more things that I want to say.
Yeah.
The most recent one of them is it with a poverty video?
Yeah,
was that the most recent one?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Okay.
That's the last one that came out, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't recorded anything further than that.
Okay, I didn't think so.
That is it, because I have a pretty short turnover time on those.
Yeah, well, short turnover, lengthy get start process.
Well, that's because I want to do other things instead. Like I've been editing the Arch plays instead of doing Tarbuck editorials.
Well, that's fair.
And I'm scheduling like several weeks in advance worth of stuff.
Once you get several weeks all scheduled, then start making a Tarbuck thing.
Yeah. So let's see. Tarbuck editorials. People can't be that close to me if they don't watch my content.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that we put out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we do. And, like, it's like, I don't expect people to watch, someone who wants to be close to me to watch everything I do or that we put out, but at the very least, watching some of my videos, that would go a long way.
Well, it's not like you're Digibro.
Well,
you're
no,
not
not
posting 4 5-hour podcasts in a week.
And I should be, but
Yeah, like that'd probably be good okay, it's potentially good for a kind of audience that you could potentially get, but you're not in a place where you can make that stuff right now.
And I don't really have the people to do that with, because I get tired out making these types of podcasts with you. Mm-hmm. So I'd want to diversify and have someone else I can podcast with, but I don't. And it'll take a long time to get to that point with someone where I can speak to them freely about things. Mm-hmm. But and it's not like I haven't tried. There's been a few people that I've tried starting like a Degrassi podcast with, but it's fallen over. Like that one guy who just ghosted me just before we were going to record.
Yeah, whatever happened with that? Was that just like nerves?
I don't know. It was the end of that. Like I've heard nothing since, and it's been like about a year now.
Huh.
Like, I think we were talking before we moved out to out of
doghouse.
Yeah, the doghouse. That I couldn't say dog for some reason. I saw him in my head, but I couldn't say what it was. But yeah, ever since, like, I think it was before we moved out of doghouse when we were talking, and suddenly he just ghosted me. It's like, okay, I haven't checked to see if he started a Degrassi podcast with someone else, but I kind of don't fucking care.
I feel like it would be harder for somebody, like, I'm not expecting somebody who just becomes friends with me at a convention or something like that to go and binge watch the entire archive of the Arch plays.
No,
that would be like it's what, like 200 videos at 25 minutes a piece up until they start getting to the 45-minute territory.
Basically, like the fact that Prince did that is still fucking bizarre to me.
Yeah.
I mean, not in a bad way, but still, like, I would have never expected anyone of that, especially because I don't think most of our stuff was good until recently. Just, it's fascinating to me. But yeah, no, of course I don't expect that either. I don't expect anyone to binge my videos, even though I think they are very binge-worthy, considering I do that semi-regularly.
But it does show a lack of interest in you if they don't watch your content. Like, yeah, I don't know that I would be that...
starting from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, starting from where I am right now. Yeah. That'd be fine.
I don't know that I would become that close to somebody who's not at least going to throw you a subscription. Like, trying to... and I hate the way that people use YouTube, where subscription means, like, I will slightly elevate the chances of me clicking on a video of yours from my sidebar.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that
that's
either.
Gross.
Yeah, and YouTube kind of, like YouTube very much, encourages that because of how they hide the subscription tab.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like... it's hard to be friends with the creative if you don't, if you're not into their creative stuff, unless it's something like specifically like Endless Jest, where he wants non-creative friends for specific reasons. That's fine, but there's still a level of there's only a barrier to how close that he can be with other people if they're not into his content either, or content as well.
And maybe that he probably doesn't look at it the same way that we do, and I didn't get that far into this subject with him when I was talking to him at BronyCon.
Yeah.
although it did come up, like, do you ever feel the reverse, what's it called? Reverse parasocial relationship effect, I would guess we can call it, where people in your real life feel more distant from you because they don't follow your content. And we didn't get to that point, but I sure feel that with Jenny Nicholson, and she's tweeted about it a couple of times since then. Like,
yeah,
a post from like 2 days ago was something like, that frustration trying to talk to friends of yours about videos of yours, how like, oh, I watch your videos on mute because like I get enough of you in real life.
You're not watching
hurts.
the video, basically. Like,
yeah.
Okay, thanks for the algorithm push, but is it worth it? Like, yeah, I'd be interested, especially with someone like Endless Jess, who's been on the internet for a very long time and has had a chance to experience like the internet as well. Like, what his thoughts on it would be, and like how how he experiences what Jenny Nicholson was describing. Like, is that actually a major positive for him, considering how he hates the nature of the internet and YouTube in particular?
I would wonder whether that's medium specific, or if it's just because like that's the way that he views all of it. You know?
I would suspect it's rather medium specific, but unfortunately the medium is the message and all that, and it's like the medium has taken over basically everything.
Yeah.
There's no real alternatives. Like, he's doing an alternative right now where he does like Patreon only content, but still like people will be people.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and especially because I sort of am trying to make friends through certain websites where I don't always bring up that I make YouTube videos first, but the idea is to eventually become close enough where I do bring that up. I'm just also, like, I also don't bring it up immediately because I'm terrified of being doxxed or something, even though I still don't use my real name. I still use my like one of my fake names that I've made up over the years, but I do use my real location to try to find people close enough to me. I mean, one thing I can thank my mom for is a semi-healthy fear of people finding out who I really am online.
Yeah, that has definitely changed recently.
Oh yeah, because here I'm grabbing the soda, but I remember growing up like
the cardioid is not going to play nice with you doing that.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted the soda, and I didn't want. It didn't even occur to me to ask you, to be honest. I was just like, I want the soda. I need to get the soda. I want the soda. But yeah, things have changed very much. Like my mom was very much like of the 90s early internet thing where you must never post a picture of yourself or like give your name because it's all dangerous, and it was interesting growing up because I'd see my friends posting pictures of themselves and
I'm like, what are you, stupid?
yeah, and then like Facebook comes around and they're putting their real name on there, and I purposely like put a name that I made up, like, for French class, you get a French name that like you never use again, because it's like I don't want people to know my real name. And then eventually I just kind of gave into it, like, okay, my friends aren't all being killed by predators, so maybe it's okay to post pictures on Facebook and use my real name.
And then it comes out that Facebook is a trap.
Well, yeah, and then like a few years later I just delete Facebook entirely. But still, it's like I'm still rather of that mindset where I don't post pictures of myself and I don't use my real name unless like it's very specific circumstances, like, like I go on Whisper and people are all like, hey, pics, and I don't really care much for sharing pics anyways, but like also a level of I don't want people to like be like, hey, I know you from YouTube or something like that eventually. Like I don't like, it's like, well, I don't like the idea of Whisper is anonymity, but no one seems to really care about that. Like, unless they've got very specific reasons to, like me. And I'm the weird one for not sending pics because I don't want to send pics.
And I feel like Mask has the ultimate height of this behavior.
Oh, extremely so.
Where...
Like, we can't even do a podcast together.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, I guess we could resurrect the old voice filter. That would be that's a possibility, but,
well,
whatevs.
I would think that you guys would have figured out, like... I don't know, gotten good at voice things by now, but I don't know.
There's apparently a neural network that you can use that will change your voice to any person's voice, but then it becomes, well, what voice do you choose?
Yeah, like, true, because like you don't want to choose a gendered voice for Mask, because Mask is all anti-gender and pronoun and stuff, and yeah.
That would actually be an interesting subject for a future thing, is like the evolution of that whole ultra privacy thing. We're getting off track. This is supposed to be about to be about people not watching our videos.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we got on here because I was talking about friends and like how eventually, like, once I get close enough to someone, I do want to be able to say, yeah, I make videos, and give them, like, you know, specifically, this is my channel. I want to be able to be open about that sort of thing. But I didn't really consider that, well, like, what would happen if it gets, like, where I say that and they're like, oh, cool, and they don't even try to watch my stuff.
Yeah, and that makes it feel immediately hopeless.
A little bit, yeah, because, like, especially having known you in Mask, I've gotten more cynical over the years, and so, yeah, and I don't like it, because I don't like assuming cynicism, but, like, there's a part of me that's like, well... A potential friend probably wouldn't watch my videos, so why bother?
Well, this has got to be why, like, celebrities only date other celebrities, because...
Yeah, because, like, there's a certain barrier to, like, even understanding, like, a celebrity. Like, that only someone in that life can really do.
How close can you possibly get to somebody who's not part of the life?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, our perception of celebrities is so different from how it actually is. Even the people who are so woke, like, oh, being a celebrity is actually not that great. Like, we still don't understand.
That's why I have a hard time taking seriously anybody who will shit on something that, say, Jim Carrey says, where he's like, I wish everybody could be rich, that way they could see exactly how much it doesn't solve your problems. Why would someone shit on Jim Carrey for saying that? That sounds so true. Because they're stuck on the problems that they do have, where money would solve that problem. But, like, they don't really realize that if that problem were to go away, they still wouldn't be happy. Well, yeah, because there's still other problems, like being lonely and, like, feeling unable to connect to other people for reasons specific to you as a person and the world you live in, rather than, like, oh, I'm just not rich enough to be friendly. Yeah. So when it comes to like people not watching my videos, I do kind of value the arch plays more than I value my instructionals. Yeah, but I would agree. I think the ultimate height for knowing me through my work is Tarbuck editorials. Yeah, because Tarbuck editorials is kind of in line with the arch plays. Like, the part of you, frankly, that I find interesting, like, I mean, not to shit, but totally to shit on, like, your woodworking stuff, just because I don't really share that deep an interest of it. But yeah, like, if you want to get closer to you, then it's not really like how to do woodworking, but the things like poverty is time travel video. Yeah, that's a really good look inside my head for how I've been thinking for the past while. Exactly. And it's a conversation that I've had with many people many times, with the poverty is time travel thing. That's why it came out as such of a blurred mess, because I've had that conversation 100 times. Yeah. And so all the other related ideas that get tied up in poverty is time travel, all just kind of, it feels like one subject to me, but the connection might not be obvious to other people. No. But anybody for whom the connection is obvious is my kind of guy, you know? Yeah.
And I totally feel the same thing. Like, there's specific videos of mine that I'd want someone who I want to be close with to watch. Like, maybe not my specifically They're Always Gay series in Degrassi, or, like, even Death in Degrassi, but the few videos where I talk about myself and how the thing that I'm discussing relates to me, that's something I'd want someone who's interested in me to consume.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important for us, when I call out one of your videos as being really important to me, and that's why I try to make, when I make a big deal out of one of your videos to other people, I try to tell you about it.
Yeah, and it makes me, like, and then also hearing about that, it makes me glad because, like, I'm being understood. And that's, like, I want to connect, but I can't be understood. The way, it's just so refreshing.
And furthermore, it's not to say that there aren't people in my life. Well, I say in my life in quotes, that they know me. They know me by name. They consider me a good dude that they want to be around when they're, like, at conventions and stuff like that. Usually this is vendors, like other vendor friends of mine. And I use the term friend loosely because how much of a friend can you be if you don't watch my content? Like, we say, why is he my friend? Because he knows my name? That's a reference to a movie.
It's like friends with a particular part of you.
Yeah, I definitely do like those people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I will chase their content, but knowing that they don't chase mine, like, discourages me from having much of an interest in what they do. So, like, and people like, let's say, Earth Pony Creations. He doesn't make stuff online in a visible way. He spends most of his time as an in-person guy. So, like, his well, we have a lot of overlap. Just the sheer surface area for contact isn't there.
Yeah.
Moon is another guy like that, where I like the idea of his game, but I can't, he's not online, so we can't talk.
Yeah, and that's just another, like, facet of the, yeah.
But when I say you're not a real friend of mine if you don't watch my videos, I can hear people in the comments being like, it's okay to have shallow connections, and I'm like, sure it is, but that doesn't mean that I value those shallow connections.
It's technically okay, but it doesn't feel meaningful. Like, and that's the whole, or at least that's what I think the whole point of friendship is, to feel meaningfully connected to someone. I mean, it's like, the, I guess, meme, but also really true thing that how everyone's like, I'm in a room with a bunch of people, but I feel utterly alone. And it's the shallow connections that create that feeling.
Have there been many times where you've seen somebody whose content you are interested in, or whose life you're willing to involve yourself in, but they don't do it for you, so it's discouraging?
I think so. I kind of don't want to think down that rabbit hole at the moment, to be honest, so I'm just gonna not.
And it's not like we would name names or anything like that.
Of course not. Like, it's more like I don't want to remind myself of those times, because basically my superpower is having no memory. Yeah.
Your bad experiences can't hurt you if you don't remember having any bad experiences.
Exactly. And that's why,
Hashtag Kubo and the Two Strings?
Kind of. I mean, like, lore time, like, that's why the few nightmares I do have, like, kind of ruin my day. Because they often play on things I don't remember all the time.
Like school buses.
Oh, no. That doesn't ruin my day. Like, stuff about, like, my mom and, like, childhood stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is there any more to say on this topic?
I think we've hit, like, even if there is more to say about it, I think we've hit a pretty good spot. So I kind of want to think that, like, whatever more there is, we would probably think about later for another session after we've already listened to this back when it's come out.
Yeah, I think,
I
feel like this is a good stopping point for this episode.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, if you're watching this, you at least have the likelihood. Oh no! Wait, wait. I thought of another thing. I come back to how Digi and May met, which is.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you wanna find love, become famous. That's Digi's meme for relationship advice.
Kind of, and it honestly doesn't exactly work that way, especially for everyone. But like how it worked for him went well because he's like a very particular dude who can only become close to very particular people, and because he was famous, he was able to be public in the way that he's particular, to where he was able to draw in someone who gets him enough to where they could grow into a very strong couple.
Yeah. And so at that, I would want to, like, if I want a connection with somebody, if I was making advice for you to, you probably figured this out already, but if I was like giving advice for you of how to get friends, I would actually start with your videos and then go backwards, because anybody
I'm so terrified of doing that, because the way I'm like doing it right now, I'm giving my location.
Well, anybody who can't connect with your videos is barely even a person.
Well, yeah, but like it's also the terror of I'm openly asexual and agender in these videos, you know?
Right, but didn't you also make a video about how that is a necessary part of your narrative to be engaged with? Isn't it great when you said something?
Do as I say, not as I do. yeah, you're totally right, though. It's just, you know, and again, it goes back to that. It's scary being open. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got a extremely fair point.
It's hard to keep some of your own material in your head.
Well, not in my head, but like, you know, also follow, like, it's like you have a revelation, and it's easy to preach the message of that revelation, but then when you need to actually perform it, it's difficult, because these lessons aren't, like, you know, they're not done very easily. Like, you don't suddenly change into the kind of person that you want to be, like, excuse me, overnight. Oh my gosh, overnight. Like, it takes like actual work to do.
Yeah, but like I say in a recent video of mine, that's not a character flaw. That's just having a virtue and failing to live up to it.
Yeah, I know, and I don't want to be that way.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's just now that, like, going on a site like, do I really want to dox the sites that I'm using? I don't think so.
What I would say
like,
instead,
it's like there's an extra terror to going on one of these sites and saying, hey, I make videos. Here's my the link to my channel now. Like, that adds into a whole nother thing where it's not even like about the kind of stuff that I make, but like being open immediately like that. Like, anyone who tries to talk to me in a friendly way, trying to get to know me, will know that I'm extremely closed off until like long into our relationship. Like, that's how I was with you and Mask. Like, the arm's length version, I gave you the arm's length version of me for the longest time, until it just got to the point where it's like, well, the walls came crumbling down.
Yep. Here we are.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and call a moratorium on that started from the bottom, now we're here meme, because it's so ubiquitous in my life, it's driving me insane.
Okay. That sounds fun. Okay. I get you.
All right. So,
yeah.
Well, what do you think about actually trying to employ the Digi and May strategy, where rather than starting on a site to be connected and plugging your videos, you start from your fan base and reach out through that?
I don't know if I can, because even with my fans, I'm still extremely arm's length. Like, it's very hard not to, like, when you're a fan of someone and you want to connect to them, it's very hard not to come off as a creep, show the signs of creepy parasocial relationship. Like, and that's extremely off-putting when you like come across it.
Well, I was asking in this direction because in at least one case, I feel like I am closer to one of your fans than you are, which is one of the certified cools,
Yeah.
Faith.
Oh yeah, you are very much like, and that's like mainly because I'm not on Discord a whole ton to talk to people, and I'm not really social to begin with. So like, yeah, like there's also that barrier to ever becoming friends with me.
You are kind of permanently unavailable from that.
Kind of like, and it's not like I want to be, but like that's just kind of how I am. Like I'll have like seasons of I want to talk to people, and then seasons where it's like I really don't. Like that's part of why it takes so long for me to respond to my comments, because I just don't want to talk to people a lot of the times. And with Discord, now to be fair, with Discord I respond much quicker than I do with most of my comments. Even still, it's hard.
Yeah. And that's kind of the head scratcher for me, hearing about you trying to make friends with people, which is like, when are you going to do this?
I know, and like, it's like,
my experience of you has been that like us getting close, I feel like it happened because I wanted it to.
Yeah, I think it very much was that way. Like, and something that I'm coming to feel is that in order for me to become closer to someone, I need to like actually be physically present with them. Like that's why I'm trying to like, I keep forgetting to do it, that or I don't have the day off, but I want to join an LGBT group to try to find people who might be like-minded and be physically there, basically forcing myself to spend time on them. Like, because when it's online, then it's like I can respond at any point, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about noticing that I made our connection happen is what's the archetype of somebody else who would be like that?
Yeah.
It would be a fan.
I mean, I guess I don't know. It's parasocial relationships are still scary.
I've been very critical about the idea of complaining about parasocial relationships because, well, definitely it's true that some people will assume that all of what you are is in your videos and you are exactly like your screen presence. The only people that I think have any hope of having a real connection to me that I don't author at this point are people who find me through my videos.
That might be fair.
Or at the very least, find me in my creative element. Like, if notable friend of the show, Willow, is somebody that we know from the con circuit. Not from the circuit exactly, but like we met at a convention, and then because I fostered that connection and kept it going, we got close.
Yeah.
And now like Willow's, I wouldn't say she's like best friends with everybody, but like she'll hang out at the Archway for a week.
Yeah. And that's another situation where it's like I want to be close to her, but because of like the physical distance and like the only way to talk to her would be online, it's like, well, then it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, neither of you are the type to chase connections.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of immune to each other.
Yeah, we kind of need to be forced into a space, like, I don't know, put us in a room for a week and then maybe we'll become close.
Yeah. And that's funny to me because you have common interests.
Yeah,
I
know.
You like musicals, and she's a singer, and
yeah, you're always talking about how like we'd get along like with certain things, and it's just like, yeah, but connection is scary. I want to connect, but I'm afraid.
I literally don't understand the connection is scary thing. Like, what do you mean?
Well, it's not the connection that's scary. It's the attempt to make it a connection and possibly failing to, like, the possible repercussions of failing to make a connection is scary.
Which are what? This may be a side effect of me having moved around so much, but like, if a connection bounces off of me, I will just roll on ahead.
I still, like, I have memories of feeling more connected to someone than we actually were, but then, like, just kind of fading into the background and just being very sad about it. Yeah.
I guess I can see that. But that only really serves to explain to me the feeling of wanting to connect to somebody that already has an in with your group. Somebody like Willow.
Yeah.
Or like, kind of like Funny Bunny in a way, where Prince Funny Bunny is probably the closest fan to us who is a fan.
Yeah, and, like, talking to you, you have, like, you know, show me, yeah, really should, like, not completely close myself off from becoming close to a fan. I'm still gonna, like,
Yeah, because
tread lightly just because, you know, being a, like, female, like, feminine person on the internet is, like, brings in not always the best people, but still, like, I shouldn't just discount it wholesale.
Look how many fucking weapons I have now. Hylian Sword, Master Sword, Magic Rod,
How do you
Horse.
carry it all? How do you carry it all? Like, do you just throw it in your pocket in this, like in The Sims?
Yes.
You can literally put, like, cars in your pocket in The Sims.
It's horse time.
It's great. You can't put your horse in your pocket, though, because horses are real people in The Sims 3, though.
That is such an amusing idea.
It is, and I wish we had horses in The Sims 4, but, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this topic's done.
Well, as I was reflecting just now in that little space, the original idea that I was trying to get at was, what am I wearing? When did that happen? I haven't played this game in months, so I forgot. I did a bunch of grinding off screen. Anyway, I feel like I have discussed that somebody will have a that I will have a difficult time connecting to somebody who doesn't like the things that I like. That was the original central idea, is liking stuff I like. I don't feel like I explained it well. Do you?
I understand it mainly because I kind of already agree with you from the start, so I can't really say, to be honest.
Let's see.
Well, weren't you saying that, like, if the two people who watch, like, leave a comment that they don't understand, then we can come back to it, especially after we listen back to this?
Yeah, because I'm going to have to listen to this, like, 3 more times in order to do my edit.
Yeah, so we can come back to this.
Yeah, alright.
Watch out for part 2, maybe.
It just feels... It feels a little... It feels kind of wrong to not... to bring up that as the initial idea and then spend all of the time exploring a parallel idea. But then again, that's like the tone of the show. All right. Next time on tAP.
Okay.